That is me in front of the 8th floor window. We were in the corner room on the 8th floor.
Pages full of photographs, letters, programs, even napkins, capturing the memories Pat Johnson experienced while living at Gage.
When I first moved here, it was the fall of 1968, and both towers were all girls, and it was great. The only boys allowed in after midnight were the pizza delivery guys.
A few years later, Tower A became an all-male dorm. Pat says their text messaging was a little different back then. They used binoculars and made signs.
You'd have these little messages on the windows that you could look over and see, 8th floor on the corner, call me, and here would be the number.
Originally from Bloomington, Pat met her now husband on a blind date while in college and has made Mankato her home ever since.
4 years later, we got married, and 40 years later, we are living less than a mile away.
After seeing an increase in enrollment, the 12-story twin towers were built in 1964 and completed in 1965.
It cost $2.57 million to build at the time. They had state funding to get the towers built. The second tower had some problems with funding, but they were able to get it through. The first part of construction was Tower A and 3/4 of the dining facility. It did open with the name Gage, and it was named after the first president of the university, who was really called a principal at the time.
Professor George M. Gage became the first leader of the school in October of 1868 with 27 students. Fast forward 100 years, and Pat was a freshman in college.
And this is my roommate, Dory Brown, standing in front of the window, and she and I have still kept in contact after all these years.
While Gage will never be replaced, school officials say this change is good on a campus now more than 15,000 students strong.
It's good for the university. I mean, we're moving forward, and we have some great new spaces for students to live, and they really reflect more the students today and what their needs are.
Avoiding the Mankato skyline, people will have to get used to.
It's going to be different.
Gage will go out with a boom, making a few new memories at MSU. In Mankato, Brittany Larson, News 12.